Here we are on the far side of the Colombage barn, which is mostly made of wood. We go past the stone side, which is the north side of the Colombage barn, and that gets us over to the garden side of the Colombage, where you can see the tin roof, which is a lean-to. That's going to be removed, and then you'll be able to see eventually just the wall of the Colombage, which is mud wall on this side. Walk down the garden towards the back of the house. This is the back of the old end of the house, and you can see that as we come along, the slope goes down to the house, and you've got a gully at the back of the house. That'll need to be dug out when we do the groundworks, which coincide with the installation of the septic tank and the soakaway field in the garden. So we're going to dig this out to have a path around the back of the house, and the soil that we take from that work will go to fill in some of the undulations of the garden. You can see a bit of a dip coming up in front of us, and to the right there you can see how the ground has actually crept up and is now butting up to the back of the vestibule and the boiler room. That's the boiler room where that chimney is. And as you see through the hedge, you can see that part of the roof of the vestibule is missing, and all of that tin roof is going to be taken off, and we'll be covering the vestibule and the boiler room, which will be the bathroom. That'll all be covered with slate, and it'll go slate right along that back element. You've got a burnt out barn, a burnt out shed here on the right, and on the left you've got the bread oven in the far distance, and beyond that is the pig pen. So we'll carry on around past the burnt out shed, which we're going to be removing, and we'll also have to get rid of the concrete block that it stands on. That takes us towards the slope that goes down towards the front of the house, and it goes past the hangar or lean-to that's on the side of the new end of the house that we're just about to go past. So you can see all that rusty roof. I think we'll probably be taking that off and probably be replacing it with more tin roof. We're not quite sure yet. And as we go down, we come up against the house opposite us, which is where Solange lived. She's well into her 90s. She had a fall in January, and she's in a retirement home at the moment. Her son is the farmer who lives at the end of our road. He's just retired. So I'll just nip inside, grab a chainsaw, and then we can nip out to the garden and take down that apple tree. Hi. Trouble with being in an exposed area like this with flat fields all around is that the Normandy wind comes straight in off the Atlantic and pushes your trees over. Not very friendly. So trusty chainsaw, I'm going to have to cut this into bite-sized pieces, and because I'm a wood turner, hobby wood turner, I'll probably save some of this apple wood. I'll have to seal the ends pretty quickly before it starts cracking, and I'll hide it in this Colombage barn over here. On we go. come on, you got to have a look at this. Let me just grab the camera, take you over to what I've discovered as I've been cutting down the tree. So, what on earth would make a healthy tree fall over? Apart from the wind, you need something else. So, have a look. It's got no middle. That'll do it. Judging by how rotted that tree trunk is on the inside, I strongly suspect it ain't going to do me any good for wood turning. So I might keep a couple of bits, but most of it is just terrible. So the next thing to do is to go over to the pig pen, and you can see around the edge of it where Joe has put Roundup. Other weed killers are available. And in the centre of the area where she hasn't sprayed, we've got lots of nettles and various unpleasant things growing. So I'm going to go over there and spray that now. You're welcome to come along. Well, we're outside again in the garden, and as you can see, it's a fairly blustery day. So I thought I was going to go over and spray weed killer on that bit between the pig pen and the bread oven over there on the left. But I think the chances are I'd be the only one covered in weed killer, which is not the best. So we're going to go inside. I'm going to go inside, and I'm going to take you with me. And we'll see what we can do to prepare for the electricity people who are coming tomorrow to install our electric feed. Very exciting. So off we go inside. This garden is extremely rough. Right, well, from the relative calm of inside the house, because it's so blustery out there, I figured I'd show you what's going to happen when the electricians turn up tomorrow. So right in the middle of your screen you can see a great big cement pylon, and from the top of it you've got a cable coming in this direction. So if we follow that cable, excuse it if it bleaches out with the sky, that cable goes directly above our head to this pylon, which is on the front of the house. So that cable goes underneath the gutter somewhere, and then along and down to just beside the lower window. If we go inside, you can see the great big electrics mess that I've previously been hacking away at. So somewhere inside there, the cable ends and gets attached to this meter. Yeah. So they're going to come and probably replace all of that mess right there with a meter. And I'm going to ask, ever so sweetly, if they will connect me up a couple of sockets. In theory, their job finishes at the meter, and then you have to phone an electrician and get them to come along and fit you, I think it's called a tableau de chantier, sort of like a works box. And that would have your couple of fuses and a couple of sockets. So I may have to do that, but we'll see if they're nice. Anyway, that will be progress, and that's tomorrow, and that's probably going to be first thing in the morning. So here's another little project. It's a trolley, but as you can see, hasn't got any wheels. Yes, this is another one of my auction finds. Got it dirt cheap and in a box, brand new, unused. So, only problem is it's probably quite old and the tyres have become a little deflated. So they're in the car and I'm going to take them to the petrol station and pump them up to the required pressure. Then I can assemble the cart and cart things around the garden. How exciting. I guess the first thing that I'll collect when I go out into the garden is lumps of apple tree. And whilst I'm doing that, it'd be really kind if you could subscribe to this channel and join us next time when I'll start tearing down some ceilings.